Hey everybody, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel. We are the Mile High Property Sisters,
Yes.
and we are here today to talk to you about some pros and cons of living in the mountains.
Yes. So the real good and bad of mountain living.
Mm-hmm.
We are Colorado natives. I grew up in the foothills of Colorado, right outside of Denver,
Yep.
where we're at right now, actually, where I grew up. We're going to give you the real good and bad from two Colorado locals who grew up in the mountains. In fact, we're sitting at my parents' house where I grew up.
We're literally on her deck right now.
Check out this view.
Look at this.
It's Highlands
Isn't this
Ranch,
beautiful?
way back there.
Fun fact, she had a trampoline like
I
right
did.
below us and would jump, and there's just
cliff.
a drop off.
There's kind of a cliff right there. Hey, you know what? No one died.
No one
ever died.
She's still here to
No.
tell us about it.
And no accidents.
No,
People
this is
used to
mountain
jump
life.
off the deck onto it too.
It doesn't shock me in the slightest.
Right. Mountain people are tough.
They are rugged.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into it. So the number one, obviously, the biggest reason why people are pro to living in the mountains is the scenery and the space.
Definitely.
Like it's gorgeous. And everyone, people are on acreage or big lots. You are not looking out your neighbors, into your neighbors. In fact, I used to complain when I was a teenager living up here. I was like, I can't believe you guys make me live up here.
Yeah.
I look out the window and all I see is trees. There's nothing but trees. I cannot see another human built structure.
Yeah.
And you guys are trying to make me live up
Yeah.
here. Like, how am I supposed to have a social life?
Rough life.
As a teenager, it was.
Yeah.
Lauren.
No, it's true. It's
Okay.
true. 16-year-olds don't love that.
No. I started complaining about it when I was 13. But anyways, obviously, as you grow up, you realize that that's kind of what you want. You don't actually want to be around all the people.
It's very true.
You want to be away from the people. So living in the mountains definitely gives you all that privacy.
Yes.
A lot of the houses up in, conifer, evergreen. And I guess I should preface, when we're talking about pros and cons of living in the mountains, we are talking about along what we call the Front Range.
Right.
We are not, it's probably true up in like Vail or the ski resort towns, but
Yeah.
we are actually talking about the mountain towns closest to Denver.
Yes.
So still kind of, Denver metro
Yes.
area. But yeah, the scenery, obviously it's beautiful. Lots of space. You can park all your toys, people
Utility vehicles.
yeah, your RVs, all that around. And yeah, you really have a lot of freedom and space.
Yeah.
You can throw parties. Your neighbors can't hear you.
It's true.
And yeah, it's really a different lifestyle
Mhm.
than it's country. It's almost country.
It is very country.
Rugged country.
Rugged country.
Yeah.
Well, and jumping into our, pro number 2 is going to be your proximity to outdoor recreation. So
Yes.
that looks like four-wheeling, that looks like hiking, biking. You have horses, equestrian trails, also proximity to ski and snowboard resorts. So the
Mhm.
closest one where we are in Conifer right now is actually going to be Loveland. And that's roughly an hour away?
It's an hour from Conifer.
Yeah.
And it's about 45 minutes from Evergreen or some of the other towns.
Right.
But yeah, it's really close. So you have skiing right in your backyard.
Mhm.
And then if you're over on the Conifer side, you also have there's mountain biking. I mean, there's a mountain biking trail. Actually, there's 4 of them.
Right.
From where I'm sitting right now, within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minute drive.
It's great.
It's all right there. Hiking,
Yes.
biking. It doesn't have to be like an excursion.
Right. An all-day trip.
Right.
Just to
Mhm.
go to a mountain or just
Right,
to go
right.
on
You
a really
can
cool hike.
you can go on a hike that
Mhm.
people in Denver have to drive an hour to, and it's right there.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it's a different lifestyle that you get to have all that, and you
It
can
is
incorporate it into your daily life.
Yes.
Instead of going to a gym or whatever, you just go to the trail.
You use the outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
so that's really nice.
It is. So the lifestyle here is, we kind of touched on it before, but it's again, there's a lot more freedom. There's really not, there's a couple neighborhoods that have HOAs, but really not. Yeah. You get to do what you want here. You get to, build your house. If you want to build a house, you can build it however you want.
You want bright pink, you go for it.
Yeah. And a lot of the houses, you can't even see, you can't see it from the road.
No.
you have to go down a windy driveway to even see it.
Yeah.
So what you do is no one's business, no one's bothering you, no one's looking at what you're doing ever. People that live up here, it's much more, you have to be much more self-sufficient. There's not as many amenities or things like that, but people, they just take care of themselves and their families, and they have good neighbors. It's country living.
It's a very good sense of community here.
Yes.
Your
Yeah,
neighbors
it is.
do tend to look out for you.
Yes. And it's a small town, it's definitely not like city life. There's a small town community feel.
Yes.
Even though the houses and everything is really spread out, it's still a small town feel. And all these different mountain towns have their own, if you watch some of our other videos, they have their own like little Christmas parades or, little festival, like summer festivals and things like that, which is really cool. So it has, if you're looking for a small town feel where kind of people know each other. It's much more like that.
Yeah. And, to piggyback off of that, being more self-sufficient here, being a little more independent, you do think about things like fire mitigation. That's something you are expected to do here. There isn't a homeowners association in many of the neighborhoods here. So no one's going to come and kind of do the snow removal for you, for example. That's something you're going to have to do. Your mom's driveway is...
Or you pay somebody to do it, but...
Right.
It's not like the city comes and does it for you.
Yes.
If you also, part of the lifestyle up here I would say it's harder. It's more work than living in the suburbs, right? Mm-hmm. So in the suburbs, you have to, mow your lawn or plant some flowers, whatever, right? Rake your leaves. Up here, grass doesn't really actually grow very well up at this elevation. So not a lot of people have grass. You don't have to really mow lawn. Yeah. But you do have to do fire mitigation. There's been a lot of forest fires up in the area. It can happen at any time.
Yes.
So to protect your home and your property, what's recommended is all the trees. And I mean, we're in a forest, there's hundreds of them. But you're supposed to keep all the dead branches, at least 10, 15 feet from the ground. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to cut them all down. You're supposed to cut down any dead trees, rake up the pine needles. Yep. It's really a lot of work. Like cutting down trees is a lot harder than mowing a lawn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But cutting your own firewood, splitting your own wood.
Yeah, a lot of people up here use their wood-burning fireplaces as their sole source of heat. Yeah. Or their main source of heat, because it helps. I mean, they have all the, the lumber, and then they don't have to pay their heating bills.
Someone else to
do it. It really helps their heating bills go down if you use the wood-burning fireplaces.
Definitely.
So it's very time-consuming.
It is.
Cutting down trees.
It is.
Chopping the wood, but that's,
but it is a pro because a lot of people like that. They like that independent feeling and not relying on someone else or having, billion different options. Self-sufficient, independent.
You have a lot of people up here grow their own food, have like gardens, and grow their own vegetables.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
A lot of people up here have their own livestock. You can always buy fresh eggs from your neighbors, which is cool. And people have, like goats and horses and that kind of thing. So
yeah, so cool.
Yes, definitely a country feel.
Yes.
Rugged country.
Well, and then our pro number 4, I mean, you guessed it, it's not very crowded here and there's not a lot of traffic. So that is kind of a bonus when you're a little bit more rural, when you're further out, you're kind of self-sufficient. You don't have to worry about that bumper to bumper traffic at 5 p.m.
The exception would be Evergreen. Evergreen sometimes.
Evergreen is the exception.
One main road that goes through downtown. There is some traffic there, but the rest of the town's Conifer, Bailey, Genesee, Idaho Springs that we're talking about. Traffic isn't a thing.
It's very minimal.
Unless they close the highway for some reason.
Bad weather or something like that, a crash, who knows.
Right. But really, there's not traffic. Yeah. And you never have to worry about parking. Yeah. There's always somewhere to park.
And making a restaurant reservation, 9 times out of 10, you don't even really need one. There's not going to be a wait.
Yes. You can go to almost any restaurant up, in these mountain towns, and you do not have to wait for a table or honestly really make a reservation.
Really nice.
On a Friday, Saturday night,
just good go. Throw on your jeans, throw on a cute top, and you're there.
Yeah. You don't have to wait. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice.
Absolutely.
I'm so spoiled. I won't even go. I won't. Will you go to a restaurant and wait?
Oh,
for
no.
An hour?
Oh, no. No. Oh, no, I walk out. It needs to be like 20 minutes or less, or I won't wait.
I know. It's, yeah.
No.
So, but up here, never a problem.
See, so nice. So nice. That's definitely a pro.
Right. And almost, anything you go to up here.
Quick.
The hiking trails, I guess, get crowded.
Those
on the
can probably be the
weekends
most crowded.
with all the Denver people coming up. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we're talking businesses.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone.
Yeah. Not a lot of
Groceries-
people.
Grocery stores are not overly packed. Yeah. It's just good living.
Good living.
No crowds. No crowds at all. So the last thing is it is typically almost 10 degrees on average cooler up here in these mountain towns than it is in Denver.
Yep.
So, in fact, most people or a lot of people up here don't even have air conditioning because you just don't really need it. And if you there's maybe a couple days of the year where you need it. So people just leave their windows open and the house stays pretty cool.
So nice.
Yeah. So when it's
really
super
is.
hot down in Denver, it is always a really nice temperature.
Yeah.
Up here.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to also dive into some of the cons that are, go with living in the mountains. And this comes from, experience. I lived up here until I went to college. Still spend some good amount of time up here. So this is just, for you to, it's great, but there's some cons that you need to be prepared for.
Definitely. It's making you aware of what you're kind of getting into. And, reminder, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado.
Yes.
If you ever want to come check out some homes in one of these mountain towns or just see the mountain town in general, please reach out to us at our number or email listed
please.
below.
You will get us on the phone. We will be the ones working with you, showing you around. And we love to show people around our stomping grounds.
Oh, yeah. So let's dive into our con number 1, and that's going to be walkability. Yeah. There's really no short commutes here. You're looking at a drive to get pretty much anywhere. How far is it from your mom's to the King Supers, would you say?
So it's really, my mom's house is very centrally located, but so it's only like a 3-5 minute drive to the King Supers, but most people that live in the mountains, it's much further. Yeah. It can be anywhere from, 10 minutes to even a half an hour or more, especially if you live like back in Bailey. There's no grocery store back there. You have to drive to Conifer.
To Conifer is the nearest one.
And the other thing is there's no walkability because it's also a highway. So even if you wanted to walk, you're walking along a 4-lane highway. Yes. Which is, dangerous, and everyone stares at you when you do that.
It's very true. Really risking your life
What's
there.
that person doing? Do they need help?
Yeah. Their car break down? No, I'm just taking a walk down the highway.
Not that I never tried that. But yeah, it's weird. So, there's not walkability.
Right.
You have to have a car.
Yes.
And as a teenager who couldn't drive, your teenagers are not going to love that.
No. There's no sidewalks here.
Right.
It's a main road, and that's everywhere. That's neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's true. There's no sidewalks. So even in the neighborhoods, there are neighborhoods with paved roads, and most neighborhoods have dirt roads.
Yes.
Even the paved roads, they don't have sidewalks.
Right.
So, if you wanted to go for like a walk with the kids, you need to be careful. Now, of course, there's not a ton of traffic. It's not like in the suburbs or in the city where there's cars going by all the time because there's so less people.
Yes.
But, you still, I don't walk, with your kids riding their bikes or whatever.
Wouldn't risk it.
You have to take them, to like the local high school or something to ride their bikes.
Right. Right. Well, and another topic just to go with that, there isn't street lights, I should say. No sidewalks, no street lights.
In the like little town centers there is, but and some areas along the highway, but definitely when you get in the neighborhoods, no street lights.
It's pitch black.
You got your headlights.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you got. So our con number 2 is going to be, it can feel very isolating here.
Yes. There is no nightlife. All the restaurants probably close at 8, maybe 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock on the weekends, maybe.
Get wild.
In the summer. But, restaurants close pretty early.
Yeah.
There is no nightlife. There's some of the, you might be able to go out and see live music. It's over by 8, I promise. Maybe 9.
Evergreen probably is your best
That's true.
shot
There's
at like
a
some
couple
bars.
In Evergreen.
But
There's
the
a
other
couple.
mountain towns we've mentioned, no, not so much.
Yeah. So, if you're a single person, like it can be it can feel very isolating. There's not as many activities to do. Like down in the city or in the suburbs,
Yeah.
you could go to like, you know, networking groups or, you know, team sports like softball. There's all those pool leagues, all kinds of things that you might be into down there. But up here, there's just not those. There's not those options. So it can be very isolating if you don't have friends up here.
Right.
It's a great lifestyle. Like, you know, people don't go out to eat as much. They just don't go out as much because they're doing more things at home.
Right.
You know, there's more work to do at home.
Right.
And they hang out with their neighbors more.
Yeah.
You know, you go over to your neighbor's house for dinner or have them over.
Right.
But if you don't have friends up here, you're not friends with your neighbors,
Then it can be
feel
worse.
very alone.
And the proximity in between homes as well.
Right.
A lot of times you can look out all of your windows and you're still not going to see your neighboring house.
Right.
So if you feel more comforted by having people more close by, this may not be the place for you.
Yeah. So number 3 is it's a harder lifestyle. You don't have a lot of amenities. Like we said, you don't have DoorDash.
Right.
You know, you're cooking at home or you could be making a long trek to the grocery store if you forgot something.
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And it's also, you know, you're a long ways away from Walmart or a Home Depot or any kind of, there are a few doctor's offices, but any kind of medical, like specialty medical care, emergency room. So that's something, you know, you also need to think about if you know, you're older or you have health issues.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a lot longer if you had any kind of emergency for medical help to get to you and get you to a hospital.
Yeah, that's a very good
anything
point.
like that. So there's no bowling alleys. There's no movie theaters. There's
You're watching movies at home.
Yes. Right. Or you're out, but you know what? You're out playing in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah. You have a campfire out back.
Yes. When campfires are allowed.
When they're allowed. Yeah.
Which hasn't been a lot lately, but yeah.
And as we mentioned earlier, some of like the pros is the independent, self-sufficient lifestyle, but that can also be a con for many people. So chopping your own firewood, the fire mitigation that we mentioned earlier, all of those things may not be for you.
And you don't have to do that, but it is, you know, it's a lot of what people do up here. And again, it's just very isolated. Like there's some rec centers in Evergreen, but there's not a big gym. If going to the gym is a big thing for you, like you're going to have to drive, you know, 20, 30 minutes to go to a real gym or, you know, to play. Well, no, there's golf courses in Evergreen, but you're driving a lot. And the other thing is if you have kids that are in sports at all, and their, you know, activities, you're really going to be driving a lot.
Yes.
A lot for their games, their practices, all that stuff. You could be, you know, spending an hour or two both ways in the car.
Commuting.
For kids' practices and things like that.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, you know, we are up in the mountains. It is at a higher elevation where you're at anywhere from, you know, 7,000 feet to up to 10,000 feet some people live at.
Yeah.
So it's harder to breathe. The air is thinner, your skin gets drier.
Yep.
And it snows more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more snow. Like we said, it's not only 10 degrees cooler, but
Yep.
it snows more. It'll be raining in Denver and it can be snowing up here. They'll only get 6 inches of snow in Denver and you get a foot and a half up here.
Yeah.
So, and the roads are, you know, windier and steeper because you're in the mountains. So commuting really can become quite the challenge.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know how to drive in snow.
Completely.
So always think of that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their own snow plows, that kind of thing, because it's a trek. It can get wild up here. Just getting out of the driveway sometimes is an adventure.
It's some work. Well, and our con, you know, number 4 is going to be altitude. It is a real thing. Altitude sickness here is real. The air is much thinner. It's harder to breathe. So if you're an avid runner, let's say at a lower sea level area like California, and then you come here, you're going to find much more of a struggle to breathe.
Yeah, it's going to be some acclimation. But, you know, once you get used to it, you'll just be fitter.
Oh, yeah. I go run in California now. I'm like the fastest one. Yes. But it's true. Your skin is drier here. Your hair is drier. So I never needed chapstick when I lived in California. I have to have it with me everywhere I go. I keep lotion in my car because your hands do get like cracked sometimes. Right. You do adjust as you've been here longer, but it's things to be mindful of.
Yeah. It's a more like I said, it's country living, but it's rugged.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're not living on flat ground. The ground that you're living on almost always has a slope. Like as a kid, we couldn't even play like soccer or kickball or nothing with a ball out in the driveway because there's a mountain. And I can't tell you how many times we were just chasing the ball down the mountain and trying to find it. You know, it's a tough life. It's a tough life up here.
You just have to let those balls go and be like,
see you later. And I mean, yeah, we couldn't even, when we were littler, we couldn't even ride our bikes because the driveway is like this.
Yeah.
And that was too much for little kids to be riding our bikes. Dad used to take us to the school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's no joke.
No joke. Makes you tough though.
It does make you
real tough.
It's true.
So again, those are kind of things. Beautiful place to live. No crowds. Right next to you, basically live like in a campground almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you look around, like this is truly what campgrounds look like that people travel to. And there's nobody else around, which is great. Yeah. But it does come at the expense of
some of the things we mentioned.
Harder living.
Yeah.
Colder, more snow, longer commutes.
Independent, self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Yep. Less amenities. For sure. Well, again, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us at our number or email listed below. You'll always get one of us. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate you guys joining us. We put out 2 videos every single week, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.